Have you ever experienced a race or a run where every single step took everything out of you and that really you just had to keep working with your mindset to get through? Well, hey, this is Coach Lisa from the Running University, and I'm here to put the fun in your run. And today, because I'm normally always in the happiest mood when I'm running, I really want to share with you a fun video because this just happened to me. And it was really interesting for me after the fact to go through and watch myself go through this. So it's the 𝙤𝙤 27K that just happened this weekend. And I had done an Instagram live on the first loop and then a Facebook live. And then I did a couple of recordings after that because the race kept getting harder and harder for me mentally. And it was just interesting for me to go back and see how I handled it. And I was talking out loud, so you'll really see how I'm trying to pump all the sunshine up my ass, as I say. Excuse the French, but that's exactly what I say. And so I just wanted to share this with you. Also, while I'm doing these videos, I include some technique tips. I'm including some etiquette tips and also some mindset tips. So I really think it's going to be worth watching. And then if you wait at the end, I'm going to give the smallest little recap about some of the things that I realized why I was in that place and how I was able to resolve them. Okay, so here we go. And so this was the Facebook Live that I did. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was an Instagram Live. It was the first one that I did. And as I recall, I think I had just passed the 8 stations. So I might have been at mile like 4.5 to 5 out of 17.5. And remember, I'd also actually ran 2 miles to get up to the race because I was trying to get some extra mileage in. So here we go.
Hey, good morning. It's Coach Lisa with the Running University, helping people cross finish lines they never thought possible and helping people put the fun in their run. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I am on the first loop of the 27K at Big Pine and Flagstaff. And hey, Joanne. And it's gorgeous weather. You know, somebody said to me as I left, have fun, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I've been hiking mostly. I'm just enjoying this day. I'm not in any hurry, trying to be as much in the moment as possible, listening to the birds, focusing on my technique. And it's actually cool because people are passing me. There's people doing the 53K, 13K people I don't think have caught up to us yet. But the one form thing that I'm noticing most people not doing when they're passing me is arm swing. I'm kind of really surprised. If you go to my YouTube channel, I think I have at least one really good arm swing video, but it's such a huge part of staying balanced in your run, and it actually helps you go faster. So arm swing is huge. But yeah, you know, I just decided I've got no reason to rush it. I think so far I've hiked more than I ran. I actually ran 2 miles to get to the race because I'm behind in my Trans Rockies training, but I have this week and next week that are crazy with trips, and I'm okay with that. I'm giving myself some grace. I know that last year, or the year that I ran Trans Rockies, I did 80% of the training plan. I calculated it out, and I did fine. So, of course, I want to stick to my plan as much as possible, but sometimes you can't. So, I'm out here. I did 6 miles last night. I'm definitely fatigued. Didn't feel really well, but you know what? It's a fabulous day out here. Maybe every time I want to switch my camera just to show you guys how pretty it is. I love doing this race. Been doing it since the inaugural. I think I missed the year of COVID. We came out and did our own races twice, and then they did it on Labor Day weekend, and I didn't want to come up to Flagstaff that weekend, but I've done this race ever since. Here comes somebody passing me. Etiquette as a back of the packer and slower runner, warning, is to let the fast people go by you on a single track. You just, you know, I don't want to get in their way of their goals. And this is my favorite thing to say about elite people and back of the packers. It's just a different kind of hard. I'll guarantee you when I check my stats, when I'm done, that the first person will have done this in at least half the amount of time as me, at least. So they're efforting really hard, I assume, to make that happen. They train really hard. You know, it's a job for most of them. But for me, you know, I've got the time. I just want to enjoy the scenery. I'm getting my money's worth. But it's a different kind of hard to be out on your feet longer, and not only just physically, but mentally. And there's a lady ahead of me. Haven't been able to catch up with her. She's been...
So just real quick, I'm just pausing that for a second because that's a weird video right there, the way that I paused it. However, to go back to that, now that I could go back and check the stats, and again, for me, the first time I did this distance, it was about a little over 4 hours. So that would be my normal. The person who won it did it in 1:53, an hour and 53 minutes. And my final time was like a 5:06, and I was also 4th to last. So more than double the amount of time it took the first person to finish.
Power hiking this whole time, and I'm actually run walking, and I still can't catch her. I'm looking forward to catching. Maybe I won't, I don't know. But at any rate, hey, just checking in from Big Pine, having a blast. I'll probably do a Facebook Live maybe on my second loop. I haven't gotten on Facebook and done a live there in a while. So thank you guys for listening. Hey, Donna. Yes, the gorgeous trails over here. And hey, you guys have a beautiful Saturday. I gotta keep moving. This is definitely slowing me down, but I don't care.
So you can tell at this point, I'm already kind of telling myself some things like, I don't care. It's okay that I'm slow. That's kind of like some of the first things that I realized during this race as I was being in the moment, that I was really trying to convince myself. So now this Facebook Live is almost probably at around the same place, but it's at about mile 13. So I've already gone the loop once. I go back to the start and finish line where I almost decided to stop and not keep going. But I did go out on my second loop, so talking about that in a little bit. But so here I am now doing the Facebook Live at mile 13.2.
Hey everybody, it's Coach Lisa with the Running University, helping people put the fun in their run and celebrate finish lines they never thought possible. I am here at the Big Pine Race in Flagstaff. I'm on my second loop. I did an Instagram Live on my first loop. I thought I'd come onto Facebook. I can't remember last time I did a Facebook Live because I spend more time on Instagram. Anyway, I'm sitting here, mile 13.2 of 17 for the race. I did 2 miles to run up to the race. I'm in Trans Rockies training, and I was in good spirits. I'm still in good spirits. I'm just, I guess, slower than I wanted to be today. I'm hiking more than I'm running.
So again, I know this is happening. I'm being very self-aware. And as I'm rewatching this, or rewatched this several times already, in the moment, I feel like I felt worse. So I think I'm really trying to, as I say, pump sunshine up my own ass, because that's what I like to do, is to try to really get myself out of this. So that's what I'm doing, and you'll hear this throughout the rest of the video.
I decided to do that earlier. I think the elevation, haven't slept much, moving off the trail. Hey, no problem, good job. I like the second loop better for a couple reasons. There's less congestion on the trail. It's a lot of single track, and the 13K people left after us, and of course, as a back of the packer, they passed me, and I always get out of their way. Especially the guy that just passed me is doing the 50K. So as a back of the packer, very important to know when to move over and let them do their thing. And I'm just here basically finishing this up. And like I said, I might be a little bit in my head, feeling a little bit like I wanted to do this faster. I was hoping to do it in, last time I did this race in 2017, this distance, I did it in like a little over 4 hours. And I was obviously in a different place, training-wise.
So again, I am comparing myself to myself, knowing that I've done this faster, but I'm also reminding myself, but you were in a different place. So again, this is a very fascinating process to me as I'm looking at this later, what I was going through mentally.
And just not feeling my best today, still feeling good. So, and ironically, I don't even want to listen to music. I'm just kind of out here. I do have my little Knox Gear speaker, and I thought about it, but I'm really just enjoying hanging out in a little cooler weather. It's starting to heat up now, and just enjoying the change of scenery and the lovely pines. Getting in the shade makes a difference. So anyway, there you have it. Just left the aid station, drank a little Coke. That always gives me a little boost. I'm trying to run a little bit on the flats and the downhills, but my legs are super heavy today, so I've almost biffed it several times. I keep catching myself. I was kind of doing this from a technique standpoint. Of course, I'm always trying to focus on all the little things, but I was doing this shuffle, I guess, and I realized that I could pick up my cadence even if I still wanted to stay at that same speed, and that helped me feel less sluggish. I'm obviously tired, I can't even speak. But anyway, I just thought I'd come on and just share a little bit of my little journey at this race today. So hopefully you're having a great day, and make sure you get outside. It's so nice out. This is probably the race I have struggled on the most. I'm going to say maybe second to the most, because Capitol Reef 50K was the first.
So again, now after I'd done those 2 lives, this is now at mile, I think about mile 15-ish. So I'm getting close to the end. So it's already a couple more miles after that Facebook Live. And so I kept going down the rabbit hole a little bit more. But again, you're going to see how and these were just videos that I was taking because I realized at this point this would be a great YouTube video to have people, you know, see what I was going through mentally. So here we go.
That I remember. I very rarely struggle. Thank God for chi running and chi walking right now, because that's pretty much what's really taking me. I'm exhausted. I don't know why. I think it's been a long week. I probably didn't hydrate enough. Trying to cram in extra miles, and I'm just really tired. Every time I try to run, I'm in this little shuffle. Even, again, thank God for some chi running to help me get some little bits, but it's just been a really tough race. I did an Instagram Live on the first loop. I was all chipper, and I did a Facebook Live actually not too long ago. I'll drop those links in the comments. I was a little less chipper, and you know, I'm definitely in my head a little bit. I just want to get this done. I contemplated not going back out, but I knew I could just totally hike this just to get time on my feet. So today's race, obviously not worried about my speed, which is pretty much my usual MO, but I usually will try to, you know, I look to see, I usually do a 13K at this race with my tribe. This wasn't a tribe event, even though I'm always decked out in my stuff. I'm so tired, I lost my train of thought. This is what happens when you're tired. And I want to do the 27K so I get some mileage for my race, for my training. So I almost contemplated the 54, and then I knew I wouldn't make the cutoff. Glad I did not do that. So yeah, I've got probably about a couple miles left, maybe a little downhill, kind of help me through here. But yeah, you know what? I'm self-aware about it. I'm okay. People passing me, I let them go by. And you know, it is what it is. I'll learn from this experience. Not a huge deal. You know, maybe I'm a little disappointed in myself. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. When I did this in 2017, I did it in 4 hours. I'm currently at 4:23 with 2 miles to go. So at least an hour slower. And I don't remember what I was training for then or what was happening. I'm definitely, I've been keeping up with my training, but yeah, just exhausted. Didn't really sleep well last night at all, so that's probably a big reason too. But anyway, you know what? It's okay. As a matter of fact, when I went by, this is like 2 loops, so you have to go by the aid station, and people are kind of cheering you on. And, you know, I just said to some guy, he was cheering me on, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna win the race. And some guy running by me was like, but you're winning your race. So that kind of spruced me up. It is true, I am winning my race. Whoa, I almost biffed it right there. That's how tired I am. It's just, yeah, all good. But you know what? This is real. That's how it works. And I have to say, the fact that I can only think of 2 really times that I've struggled hard, maybe 3 if I think about Silverton Marathon and Kendall Mountain. Those are pretty tough. But I felt not as exhausted as I am now. I'm just exhausted. Anyway, there you have it. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I want you to get all the fun stuff that I send out. Bye. Hey.
So again, that was me thinking, because the first loop was 8.5 miles, I actually had to check my watch real quick, because by the time I get to this point, I'm like, I should be done at 8.5, 8.5, and 8.5. That's 17 miles. So I'm getting to the point now, and this is the last couple of miles. And again, you can sense, maybe you can't sense my irritation level, but I know, and that's exactly what's happening. Like, I'm so ready for this to be over.
It's me again. Oh, man, this last mile is really freaking pissing me off and taking forever. And I just decided to do the video because when I'm in my head and I'm just ready for this to be over today, I'm really proud of myself for not dropping. So going into a little positivity there. I would have if I felt that I was hurting. I was just exhausted, and I just knew it meant I was going to be extra slow, which is no big deal, but I am definitely ready for it to be over with. And I feel like this last mile has taken, I don't know, an hour. It's not, but it just feels like it. So just recording shit that's in my head when I'm not in the best place ever, which is very rare for me. And you know what? It's also cool. It's okay. Not always gonna have the best runs. I think sometimes maybe I make it look that. I mean, there's a love-hate relationship with running for sure, but, God, I'm so tired. I keep losing my train of thought. But anyway, yeah, today's just not my best day, but I'm still logging. I'm at mile 16.78. I did 2 before that, so technically 18.78. I think it's okay. So, still not seeing the area that I know is going to be like, okay, now you know you're almost there. I'm close. All right. Peace out.
So yeah, that was basically, you can tell. And actually, as soon as I hit stop on that, I almost biffed it one more time. And that's one of the things I could tell. My legs were just super heavy this whole time. And, I kept almost tripping. I never fell, thank God. And I didn't expect any of my people to be at the finish line. And this finish line kind of really cracks me up, because usually I'll cross a line. I'm super excited. I'm like jumping and, I'm just super excited. I usually feel really strong when I finish. And I just thought this finish line video was kind of funny, because it was definitely not my norm. I had to do everything to run through this, to actually run this last little bit. I thought I was going to fall again. And there I go. And I just turned my watch off, and that's basically how how it is. No excitement, nothing. I think in my head I was even thinking, I'm going to tell my people that it's Cranky Coach. Like, that's exactly how I felt. I kept calling myself Cranky Coach. So now that I had time to contemplate the race and watch the videos over and put this all together, I just had some quick final thoughts. And I believe a lot of what happened was, I didn't hydrate enough that week. I also hadn't been eating the best. I was trying to cram in a bunch of miles. I was also at elevation and altitude, which I'm not used to. So I think all of that combined had an impact on what was happening for me that day. But as you can see, some of my biggest takeaways are, number one, every time I'm too much in my head, when I realize that, I start focusing on my form. Because once I start focusing on my form, I'm focusing on my body, so it helps me get out of my head. So I will do that, as well as do a 5 senses meditation, which I thought I brought up in the videos, but I hadn't. And not really a meditation, but I just focus on all of my senses one at a time. And again, instead of worrying about what's going on in my head, it puts me immediately in the present moment. And then I start thinking about what I'm smelling, what I'm tasting, what I'm seeing, and it really starts helping me get out of my head. So that's one thing. The other thing is how important mindfulness is. I meditate just about every single day, And the idea of when you're mindful, you're much more self-aware of what thoughts are coming through your head. And again, as I rewatch this video, I can tell that, you know, I'm going through this process. You know, you hear me saying it like, yes, I'm going to be okay. Yes, I'm the slowest person. I'm okay with it. So I'm trying to convince myself, basically, but it did help me get through. I am proud of myself for not stopping. I really did want to stop after that first loop. But again, I was able to talk myself, and I feel that meditation and a mindful practice is so important to everything that we do, because again, it just helps me really slow everything down and understand what thoughts I'm having, and then also knowing what to do with them, which is what I was saying earlier. I focus on my technique more. I start doing maybe a 5 senses meditation. So it just kind of allows a process to unfold for me during that time. And then last but not least, it's a practice. Practicing mindset is just like practicing training, like physical training. So while I was going through this process, I was very aware that I am practicing mindset right now, and I'm practicing how to get out of a harder mindset. And the more times that I have the opportunity to do that, then the easier it's going to keep becoming. So again, it doesn't happen to me that often, but I'm very grateful that I knew, you know, that I recognized when it was happening, and that I was able to be okay with that, and that hopefully also you learn from this experience through my journey, and this helps you out too. So again, subscribe to my channel. I love sharing all of these things with you, and you know, if you've ever had a really bad run, gosh, just tell me in the comments, like, how do you get out of a bad mental place in your head? I'd love to find out what other tricks and tips people have out there.